Welcome back to Bald and Sassy.
I was going to say, are we going Zootopia on this?
Really
No.
like that movie.
It is a good movie.
It's
Have
a
you
good
seen
movie.
the second?
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to see the second yet.
Have you seen Bad Guys 2 yet?
No.
Bro, we watched that on the movie together. It was great. We felt like little kids. We're like flying. We're like, Bad Guys 2, cracking up. We had them synced up. It was the best. It was the best.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet, so I need to watch it. But I watched Zootopia 2, though. It was pretty good.
That was really good. Yeah, it was
really
good. So we have Caleb Garza back in the hizzy. Ooh.
Yep.
Sorry, there's not as many cheers as the last time you were on a mic. Apologize that we don't have that much.
High def. That's what he's referring to.
There you go. Caleb Garza. This is for the audio audience only. So Caleb's been on before.
It's around like
Almost a year ago.
Yeah, I'd say that it was
Almost a year ago.
right after Camp Eagle. So I think that was a little bit after, like
Yeah.
in June.
So, yeah. Right at the end of June, beginning of July.
Yeah.
One of the early episodes.
Yes. And we just got off High Def, which is a youth conference we talked about last time. Youth conference at Preston Trail, a local church. And Senor Garza was one of the keynote speakers. Holla at ya, boy.
The first session.
Yeah, blessed to be able to do it. So
You know, so we just thought it'd be good to get him in here, just pick his brain a little bit more, talk a little bit more through life, purpose, people pleasing, all the fun topics, right?
yeah,
Excited?
I'm excited to talk about it. So
Did you guys watch Super Bowl?
yes, I did.
Of course. How do you got to watch it.
Yeah, it was.
Even if you're not a fan of the teams, like if you're a fan of the sport, you got to watch it.
It's a hard watch though.
I mean, the Seahawks earned it. It was just it was a boring game. Like, it was just so.
Should have been like the other football at that point, how many kicks there were.
Yeah.
I mean, like football.
Yeah, just put it on the ground. Let's see what happens, guys.
Exactly.
Let's start
Yeah.
kicking it. Let's see what we got.
Yeah.
You know, it was.
Heading into the fourth, it was 12-0.
Yeah, the kicker got a hat trick, more than a hat trick. So
Yeah, I'm like, if it had ended that way, the kicker definitely would have won the MVP.
MVP, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Five field goals, 2 extra points.
Like, you're just out here. Kenneth Walker came to play.
Yeah.
He was like Kenneth Walker of old, which you know next year in fantasy he's going to launch right back up because he kind of had a year.
Really, it's just a matter of if Charbonnet is also in the backfield splitting carries with him. If he's not, Kenneth Walker's a great workhorse. But if Charbonnet is healthy, they're going to split the carries to make sure they both stay as healthy as possible.
Oh, for sure. But I just mean, you'll know those people be like, oh, remember at the end of last year, he's going to be back doing that this year. And you're like, well, Charbonnet's back too, man.
Yeah.
And you know he's going to get overdrafted.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to go earlier than he probably should.
And, like, he's a great, once again, as you said, he should go high if Charbonnet wasn't there.
Uh-huh.
But he is, and this is fantasy. This isn't real football.
Yeah.
Fantasy, yeah. Got last place.
Yeah, we've got our last place. We should do a punishment right here.
Ah.
I remember a group, everyone was giving me crap, like, I got last place. I was like, I'm pretty sure I did it.
Yep. Not when it came to playoff time.
Somehow, yeah.
Somehow. I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know how I got last place. I was like maybe fifth the last entire time. I was like, you know what? I think I'm good. And then I look back like a few weeks later. I was like, oh.
Because playoffs started. And
Yeah, the playoffs
just
started,
weren't
yeah.
paying attention.
Just not. No, first time
7
playing
people in and out.
First time playing fantasy, so give me a break, guys.
You didn't play last year?
No,
Oh, I don't know.
no. Then I played last year. Allison was last year, so
Oh, there you go.
he did not do a punishment though. So or
A
punishment.
punishment. It wasn't me. That's what I'm happy about.
Joseph was last year. Because I remember they were picking on him at high def.
Oh, yeah, because he did have a punishment. Joseph was last, and he did have a punishment.
Yeah.
Because
He
at high
did.
def, he had to do that football catch. How you doing?
Yeah.
The world's worst pickup line? Yeah.
That
Throw it
did
by
not
the
work.
group of girls over there. And
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you over here. Have you seen my beach ball?
You
It's
ladies
like
alright?
this big.
Talking about some like you ladies alright?
Yeah. Doing that. He had to do that, which, of course, it's Joseph. He didn't have to do that. He took great pleasure in being awkward. He was like, yeah, I'll do the weird stuff. Let's
Come
go.
on.
intentionally
ready.
more awkward than he needed to be.
He might have come up with his own punishment. That could have very well been his idea. I'd be like, I know how y'all can punish me. Make me do this. And they're like, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so bad. I hate doing
Oh,
this.
this is, I'm so embarrassed. Again?
Yes.
Hey, guys, look, some more people. Let's go over there. Okay. So,
Joseph is catching strays, bro. On the podcast. podcast.
We love you, Joseph.
We're going to have to invite him on now.
You know,
Yeah.
Come defend yourself.
Next
come
feature.
defend yourself. He would just be like, y'all see, we love Joseph. I'm also an awkward person, so like it's not an insult.
It's almost baseball season.
It's almost baseball season.
Almost.
Actually, it is, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's high school baseball time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Will couldn't go to high def because he had baseball, which
Yeah.
that was just an excuse. He could win, but
No,
Oh.
him and Ryan were both playing late on Friday and had games going into the late afternoon on Saturday too. So
yeah.
talk to them about it. They got a little pass, but
Not a full pass.
yeah,
Can't have a full pass. So yeah, I mean, it was kind of ending the season that way, like with a game that was like, man, like, 'cause especially when you had some of the playoff games with Buffalo and Broncos and the Rams, Seahawks, you had like all these really good games, and you're like, that was
Yeah,
sad.
well, I mean, that's kind of what we were expecting. Like, whoever came out of the Rams and Seahawks game,
Right.
we said they were going to be the ones
Yeah,
that
for sure
ended
they're
up winning. Like, it was the better conference.
much better team. I think. Well, I was hearing someone talk about it, but it's like, what are the odds that if Bo Nix doesn't go down, they beat the Patriots? If Bo Nix is in, what are the odds they beat the Patriots? I mean, they're really close with the
Yeah, they
backup,
were
so
really
probably.
close with Stone.
And then that's a whole different Super Bowl because now you've got another stout defense that's going to be putting Darnold on his heels, and a stout offensive line that's not going to be taking it like the Patriots O-line was. I mean, Will Campbell was getting mollywopped.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
like-
also give Christian Gonzalez his, like, props.
Oh, he
that dude
kept
was
that game
holding it
closer
down.
than it should have been.
Yeah, he made some incredible plays on the defensive side, and I mean, going into the fourth quarter, like we were saying, it was only 12-0. Like,
Yeah.
it's still a game going into the fourth quarter.
Oh, I'm not dogging, but I think if you you got Surtain, that's going to be equal right there, and then their O-line or D-line is their defense is way better than the Patriots' defense. The Broncos.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
So, like, who knows what that game would have been had, like, Bo Nix not gone down.
Mm-hmm.
Which, of course, he's thinking about.
oh, yeah. The Broncos, every Broncos fan is thinking about it.
Yeah. And then even, like, Buffalo could have given the Seahawks a run for their money.
I don't know.
I think offensively, you can't.
I think they
Keep
make
Josh
more
Allen doing
explosive plays because they're a more explosive offense. They probably could have put up more points, but
Yeah.
I don't think their defense is as good as the Patriots.
No, I don't. But you have Josh Allen, so you never know.
Yeah.
Although it would be even more sad. It's like it's one thing if you lose like to these big, then you just lost it. Like we're not dogging on the Seahawks, but he makes there and you lose to the Seahawks. It's not even like Stafford or
Well, I mean, the Seahawks are projected as the #1 team going into next season. Like, they're gonna roll everybody into their contracts for the next year. That they should be able to keep everybody, pretty much all their core players.
Yeah.
So, the Seahawks, they did their job.
And they did their job. They did it well. I mean, it was. I think if you had two teams playing like that, it would have been great. Just the Patriots were just out of the league. They were. I mean, they had Christian Gonzalez. They had a few good things, but their O line just could not handle that.
I'd say they're a good young team. They need a little bit more experience to be able to actually
For
contend.
sure.
I think a couple more key pieces in that Patriots offense, and I think they gotta.
Yeah.
They'll
And
be back.
defense.
Yeah.
And the Patriots should be happy. I mean, they lost Tom Brady maybe like how many years ago, and they're already back at the Super. They're already back at the Super Bowl.
6. No, he went to 2 years, right? 2 years in the Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, yeah, I think so.
2 years. So he just went into the Hall of Fame. That's the 5. So that would be 7 years ago. Yeah, he was on the Patriots. Well, not only that. Last year they had 3 wins, and then they came back and was it 2 or 3 years on Tampa Bay?
I think it might have been 3 actually.
3. So that would have been 8 years ago.
No, I don't think he hasn't been inducted into the Hall of Fame yet.
No, but no, it's next year.
Yeah, I think
That's next year,
he's
so it'll be 7.
Yeah.
Sorry, so it is.
I think 7 is the number right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
7 is the number
It's a
of completion. Kind of.
Yeah, unfortunately, Drake May did not play well. I think
No.
they said it was like the 3rd worst QB showing ever in a Super Bowl. But
I mean, this is the biggest. Like he's not. You get all the whole playoffs. He was kind of underperforming. Think about it. He did not play at Bama or Georgia or Ohio State or Texas. But it's South Carolina. North Carolina, sorry.
Tar Heels.
Not playing in huge games. Like, not playing in big lights. Not playing in any of that versus, like, some of these guys that have been, well, Darnold's been doing it in the pros for a while. But, when you have someone like Joe Burrow that came from LSU, like, LSU has bigger attended games than any of his NFL games.
He's just used to it.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, sure. It's another
so.
Big story. It's another big day. Whereas, that's I can't imagine that pressure.
Yeah, I mean, Super Bowl. You could hear any professional athlete talking about when they get to the championship game. It's just a completely different experience than even playoffs.
Yeah. You gotta it's because it's the one that, like, man, I win this, I win it all.
I've been dreaming about this since I was a kid.
Yeah, and I don't win this, and no one remembers.
Yeah,
like, that's just when we go through what the Super Bowls were, we go through the winners, not who played. And so it's kind of like, it's like you're the first loser. You're like, not taking away, right? But it's like, I would love to lose in the Super Bowl as a Cowboys fan. Be like, yeah, can we just, how about the NFC Championship? How about that one?
Like,
can we lose there?
Bro.
Like, just get it.
Like, can we get at least close, bro?
I know I don't have a leg to stand on. I'm not out here dogging as a Cowboys fan. Like, we are.
That's going to be a clip.
Can we trade Jerry Jones? Is he a tradable asset?
Please, bro.
Can we trade Jerry Jones to the Eagles and get Howie? Oh, man. I mean, Jerry still has to keep writing the checks, but just go up there. You think you're so good? Let's go. Let's go see what you got.
Like, can we impeach you, bro? Like, seriously?
No, unfortunately not. He paid. When you got that money, honey, that's how it works. All right, we will rock in. So like I said, we're kind of coming off his keynote, talking about people pleasing and kind of the season that I don't know if I would say prodigal season, but the season that you really weren't pursuing God, you were doing much more people pleasing, and you talked about a little of that at High Def. So we can kind of talk into that a little bit. So I know opening, like you said, a big thing that changed was Mission Arlington.
Yes.
Like, that was a huge pivot point for you.
Yes.
What changed in Mission Arlington?
Well, what changed is just, really just my perspective on everything. Like, I went into it not knowing what God had planned for me and why I was there in the moment. And, God called me to it, but I didn't know why. And, I was taking that risk to, go into it and see what it was all about. And what changed is that it was just, I finally, truly felt the experience of who God really was during that. And that's what really kind of changed. I got to actually experience who God was. And that's what changed because, I knew who God was, but I never really had a connection like that before.
Yeah.
So,
for those who don't know, give a brief, what is Mission Arlington?
Mission Arlington is obviously a mission trip in Arlington where you go to, where you go to different apartments and you do something called a Rainbow Express where you invite kids from different apartments to go down and you are able to, tell them about the gospel. You're able to, sing songs to them. They're able to learn who Jesus is, and still you get to play games with them, connect with them.
So kind of putting on like a mini camp.
Yes.
For these apartment complexes.
Yes.
That's awesome. For those of you who don't know, Arlington is a local city around here. So it's just it's over spring break. Am I correct?
Yes, it's over spring break.
So spend a week out there. And so anything in specific? I mean, you obviously said you definitely experienced God more in a more real way. What is there anything in particular that comes to your mind?
I'd say definitely like
how you experienced it more.
I'd say like how I experienced him is just like being like doing his work, like actually trying to pursue him in that way and doing his work. He gave me everything I kind of like. He gave me some of the things I prayed for in the moment, like not being alone anymore. I got genuine people of faith around me who actually, I didn't have to hide my true self and I didn't have to, put on a mask and try to pretend to be someone else that I wasn't. I could be my old weird self that I always have been. So, and that's kind of what he gave to me. And also just, can you repeat the question? I want to answer it.
Like specifics on how you think you experience God more.
Yeah, and I experienced God just just through his comfort he gave me during that trip and after that trip also. Like the comfort I felt just being there. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I think I can look back as a kid. You know, we used to go on mission trips every summer, and we'd go out to like the Caribbean islands, like these small islands. People was like, "Oh, you're going to the Bahamas for a mission trip? That sounds nice." You're like, I mean, well, yes, we were not on resort town. Like we were go do construction in the middle of the Caribbean. That's a different hot.
Yeah.
And if it rains, there's nowhere to go. But like I just remember those experiences, like really getting to be the hands and feet of Jesus, and really like seeing that is a huge experience. I think I wish more people had gone on mission trips. Like I think it's very, very difficult to fully understand like the love of God without doing something like that. Like it's really hard to really like. We talked about it last week. There's knowing and there's knowing. You can know that, oh my goodness, it'd be great to serve people. It's different when you go out there and be like, oh my God, like, and you have these people that are grateful and putting on these camps and be like, my kids would have nothing if it weren't for y'all out here, and all of that stuff. Like it's just a different level.
Yeah.
It's the same with serving with youth ministry, right? Like it's hard to put into words, like high def, physically exhausting, right? I was so tired. I think Chris is the only person who slept more in high def than he normally does. That's only because he's got 2 teething kids at home and another one.
It's a season.
So,
it's a season.
It's a season. But like high def is physically exhausting, but spiritually immensely recharging.
Yep.
And like it's one of those things. Like I legit feel bad for people who don't get to go to youth events, because I'm like, there's just this level of like recharge and like hope that comes out of it that it's hard to put into words. But when you know, you're like, yeah. Worth it. People are like, why would you want to spend your weekend with a bunch of teenagers?
It's just like, bro, you don't
I get
understand.
that. Yeah, you don't get it. Just trust me. Show up.
Yeah, after the last service, our seniors, like a few of them took pictures afterwards, and you know, I saw the girls all up by the stage, and like all the senior girls were all taking pictures, and I just like sat back and just kind of like took it all in, because I've definitely gotten attached to this group of seniors, you know, especially following them for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Just
not like following them, like serving with them.
Correct.
He's not a creeper. I know he's bald and looks funny, but
wow.
Yeah. Shots fired.
Yeah. Trust me, guys. Doesn't follow us around.
Serving with all of them.
Caleb, blink if you're okay. Blink if you're okay.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, I mean, even one of them texted me today. I was just like, hey, you know, I've been reflecting after high def and thinking about the years in the past, and just really appreciate, you know, the time that you've put into, you know, serving with all of us. And
yeah,
it's just like, cool. Like these are moments that just like remind you, like, yes, this is all worth it. And it just like reinvigorates the spiritual part as well.
It's awesome. All right, so then you kind of talked about some of this, how you were like in this season of people pleasing. What do you think? What did that look like?
It really just looked like the people pleasing kind of led off of just me not wanting to be alone. So I was trying to find like just people to be around, because I just didn't like being alone. I didn't like, and I didn't realize at the time that this way of people pleasing, you know, trying to just have everybody's attention on me and like just be there for something, because I found myself like, either if it was good or bad, in the sense I was trying to be there for people. So in a way, like even if they're, you know, like if they're using me for something, they're like, okay, cool, guess what, I'm still being used by somebody. Yes, I have people around me. So it doesn't really matter like what I was doing in the moment, because I was like, okay, cool, they validate me. I seek validation through other people,
real.
And that's what I was doing at the time. So,
yeah, I like to say I'm a recovering people pleaser.
Yeah,
there's still the urges sometimes. You're like, okay, not everyone has to love me.
Gotta have boundaries. So that's what I had to learn.
I remember you sophomore year would like try and do goofy things just to get the attention on you, and like would make statements every once in a while and be like, hey, you know, I'm still here, guys. Like The change that has happened over the last 2 years since you've been really getting involved and serving with middle school and just kind of coming into your own has been massive. You have probably had the biggest change, I think, over the last 2 years of anybody in the group. Just from personality and like coming into your own skin and knowing who you are, I would say you're the person that has probably changed the most.
Made some strides. So, so you kind of got into that. You were lonely, people pleasing. What do you feel like that cost you in your spiritual walk? Like in that season?
It costed me, I guess, the time that I could be spending time with Jesus and like just I would say just my connection with God in general.
Okay.
Because it was every time I was doing these things that were opposite of God wanted me, it was just like, okay, I didn't realize at the time, but I was like really hurting Jesus. I was hurting my relationship with Jesus.
Yeah.
So, and every time I would do something, like example was cussing in 7th grade to look cool in front of others, it was damaging my relationship with Jesus. And like I said, it was making a hole in my soul. It was like, I felt unfulfilled every time. That's why I kept doing more and more each time.
Yeah.
So
sin will be like that. Sin's going to feel great for like that long.
mm-hmm.
And then it's just more emptiness.
It just feels great because, if it didn't feel great, no one would be doing sin.
Yeah, right.
So
It's everyone. It's I think that's the misnomer you see all the time. Like it's like even a great example is when it's like, don't do drugs, which you shouldn't do drugs. But also they're like, drugs aren't fun. You're like, well, there's a reason why people do them.
Yeah.
Like let's not be delirious. Be like, why do people? Well, it's because it's like I've never shot up heroin, but like based on the descriptions, it's probably one of the greatest feelings you can have on the planet. Like outweighs anything naturally. But it comes at a massive cost. And so it's like being like, yeah, there's a reason, like it can feel good to be looked at. It can feel good to get the attention. It can feel good when you're using all this language, but there's a cost. Yeah. So for you, when do you feel like you started to, I know it was Mission Arlington, but
mm-hmm.
when did kind of the conviction of that start like outweighing the comfort of being in the group for you?
I say it started whenever I started gaining knowledge of Christ,
Okay.
So it was around 9th grade when I wanted to start learning more about Jesus. So I started reading the Bible, I started listening to the Bible, and I started getting to know Jesus personally more. So I started changing some of my habits, I stopped cussing, and I still I had convictions and that stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop doing this. But during that moment, I was still putting my comfort in gaining validation through other people over my relationship with Christ. And that was the thing that I was holding on to because I didn't want to lose the validation I worked so hard to gain. I was desperate for it. So
yeah, you don't want to miss out on what it is.
I didn't want to let it go. So
yeah, it's hard. It kind of reminds me of Galatians 1, right? Where it says, for now, am I trying to persuade people or God? Am I striving to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ. Like, that can seem kind of harsh or exclusive, but it's kind of one of those things that, yeah, like, I think you got that realization that he's looking and he's like you can either serve me or serve the world. Like, you can't kind of do both.
Yeah,
if you kind of serve God, like, you're serving the world. Like, that's how that works.
Be in the world, not of the world. And that I was being of the world in the moment still because I still was choosing something of the world.
You were being God. In the church, but of the world.
Yes.
Yeah. And which zero judgment. We've all
church is supposed to be a hospital for sinners.
Yeah,
it's supposed to help heal us from the inside out. So that's what Jesus does. So and that was during that time Jesus was working on me. So
a key line you said, you repeated at the very end, right? The world's comfort is temporary, but Jesus' comfort is everlasting. We'll do a Garza. The world's comfort is temporary, and Jesus' comfort is everlasting. Kind of John 14:27, right? Jesus gives peace to the world, peace that's different from the world, right? That statement obviously meant a lot to you.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that statement come from? Obviously your brain, but
that statement, it just came from the comfort I gained after Mission Arlington. I remember sitting in my room, and I didn't say this in my testimony, it's just I remember sitting in my room, just reflecting on everything that happened. and I felt everything that God had to offer during that moment. You know, I put on a little worship music, and I was just sitting there reflecting, thinking, and I was like, and God offered me peace, love, joy, everything He had to offer right there. And I was just like, wow. This is what true comfort feels like. This is what Christ has to offer, and I've been missing out on it the entire time.
Yeah.
So
that's like it's funny. Like anyone who knows me knows I love knowledge. I love information. I'm kind of a fiend. But like my honest prayer lately has been less like it's not like God. Not that I don't want to know more of you, right? But it's not the knowledge I'm after. It's the experience. Like I want to experience more of Christ. Because I think, it's experiences that change us, right? The enemy knows a lot about Christ. There's a lot of people who know a lot about a lot that have had no change, right? I mean, the scariest passage to me of all is when it's those people and they said, Lord, Lord, we cast out demons in your name and prayed for people in your name. And he looks at them and says, get away from me. I never knew you, you wicked servant. Like,
you can know of God, but it doesn't
there
mean
are
God.
people that are on stages preaching, that are serving in churches, that are leading Bible studies that have never experienced the love of God. And like, that's like one of those things, like for me and for people around me is like, I was just like, that's my big prayer is like, God, just make yourself more real to them. Like, just make yourself more real to me. Experience that. Cause that's like, that's a scary thought that there's people that don't realize that they are just a highly moral person. Right. And I think that's the we get into a lot of times. Like we're just trying to make sure people are moral. And like, I don't, to an extent, like I don't care. Like I do care if someone's moral, but like, that's not my concern. Cause like, first of all, I'm not going to change you. Christ is.
Yeah, Christ is.
I can't change myself. Well, like, I sure as heck I ain't changing you. Thank God that's kind of time. But like, we're so focused on the, like, you see it a lot and like the put on your church clothes, stuff like that, this morally good thing, but it's like, I mean, Jesus talked about it. It's like you're like whitewashed tombs, right? You look beautiful on the outside, but just dead and decaying and decrepit and death on the inside. But I think like like you look all throughout Scripture and people that encountered Jesus were changed. Like you cannot come face to face with Jesus Christ and stay the same. Just doesn't work that way. And so, I think experiences, like that's been my prayer for a long time. It's like, God, just let me experience you more. Like become more real to me. But I think experiences are important, which is why we love things like high def, like camp, because these experiences sometimes can break down our walls and help open something up. Another thing you kind of touched on a lot throughout your talk was talking about community was a big part of you coming back as well, like help bring you back. And when we say coming back or following away, it's just doing what you know to be is right. And following Christ. It's not like he legit ran away and was gone. Like even through some of this, you were still going to church.
Yeah, it was more like just, I didn't trust God. Yeah, I didn't trust God enough to dedicate my whole life to Him. Yeah. So it was more like, I want to say rebellion, but it just I didn't have trust in Him fully. So
it's okay. It's a rebellion. Like we all do it. Especially as teenage boys, right?
I didn't trust Him, so that's why I did rebel in that way. Because I was like, okay, well, I'm not feeling, I feel alone still. And even though I'm trying to trust you, but I don't feel where you're at right now. So I'm going to do my own thing so I don't have to feel lonely. Yeah. So how do you think community played a role?
Community definitely played a big role in this because I knew, like, with that community, with, my home group at Preston Trail, that played a big role because I always knew I had people. I knew that I wasn't alone and I could hang out with them and they wouldn't judge me for who I truly was. Like other people, I didn't have to, put on a mask and pretend to be someone else I wasn't in front of them. I could be my own authentic self. I didn't have to try to people please them or do things to seek validation through them because they already validated me for who I was already. Yeah. For the person I wanted to be. That's awesome. Things that I didn't want to do, they didn't make me do. And some of the things I did want to do, they're like, hey, come on, let's go. Let's do this.
Right. Encouraging in the right ways. And so I know that you kind of was on 7th, 8th grade year, right? Mm-hmm. So right before high school. And it's funny, if you know any of our home group, like, what are we going to judge you for? We're all weird, man.
Yeah.
Like about high def of Rhett and Joe.
I remember
that
you last year
1
when
hour.
Luka got traded. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was you got a little weird.
My Mavs are in shambles.
Yeah.
We basically traded Luka Doncic for Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
Basically.
Basically, AD played 23 games and he got injured, and we just traded him away just like that.
Of course, it's
Still coping, by the way. So
it's would be Cuban got out, right? Does he know something we don't?
Cuban's trying to buy back in.
Is he trying to buy back in?
Yeah. Apparently Cuban is not liking what's going on and is trying to
Of course he's not.
find a way to get the
like
Mavs
it.
back.
Because he bought it because he was a Mavs fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just loved the Mavericks and then like made a lot of money. And so he's like, hey, I'm gonna go buy this team. And I don't know.
got ruined.
Yeah.
Star
NBA
player
in general
traded.
is kind of just
Cooper Flag is
Poo-poo.
doing good things, but yeah, he's gonna need a supporting cast.
I mean, we just built a whole team around Luka, and then we traded our star player away for Cooper Flag. So we got to rebuild this team around him now. So
yeah, it's
it's a whole process now. I'm still kind of salty about it, but it's
he's
okay.
not, Caleb's not salty at all. It's okay, but he has community to help him work through his emotions. Luckily, you found out that news in community. It was literally the first night of high def last year, and they're about to go to sleep, and this comes through. We all thought it was a joke. And
Yeah.
Caleb did not sleep much that night.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, William said that he took a nap, and I was talking about it. He took a nap, woke back up, I was still talking about it.
I mean, that tracks. I went to sleep last year hearing you talk about it. When I woke up, you weren't talking about it.
Mhm.
Y'all
It was
were
like one of
asleep
the
at that
first
point.
things I said in the morning. I was like, Luka got traded. No.
Yeah. That was, yeah, and I think, in Hebrews it's quoted a lot, right? It says some don't neglect gathering together as some are in the habit of doing. I think it's like super important. You do that. Speaking of, you're rolling into like a new season, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're graduating.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you get asked this all the time. I don't know what your answer is, right? What's next, right? What are your plans, and like what are you going to try to take from these seasons of life, the things you've learned, to make sure you don't have another quote unquote recession in this next season? And
The things, what's planned next is I'm wrestling right now between going to college for either going into marketing or if I want to go into ministry or theology or something like that.
yeah,
I am really wrestling with that right now. And I'm just saying, okay, God, if you open doors that need to be open and close doors that need to be closed, and guide me to where you want me to be. Because at the end of the day, I'll be where you want me to be according to your will.
yeah,
And to not fall back into a recession, I would say that I would definitely set boundaries. That's one thing I would have. I'm setting boundaries to guard my heart so I don't fall back into that recession of, trying to please people, I guess, that aren't following Christ, especially. And
even sometimes it are, right?
And that are, just putting your faith in people rather than Jesus. That's what I would guard my heart from.
Yeah. And I would say one thing, man. We've said it before, right?
Mm-hmm.
In no way, yes, pray about it and follow His guiding, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I would also caution against thinking that there's only one thing that God has for you, right?
Yeah.
Like St. Augustine had saying, it was like, love God and do what you want. Like, don't over spiritualize it. Like he needs to open this one door, and it's like he could just be saying, "Hey, man, take a step." Right? Because I remember I went to school youth pastoral ministries, thinking I was going into vocational ministry, which is where you get paid to be a youth pastor, right? That's what vocational means. And then we won't go into the whole story because we have an episode of it, so go watch it. But had this whole falling away, thought that was gone. Fast forward 13 years, I get a job as a vocational pastor. And so to me, I was like, this is what I was meant to do. This is what I was longing to do. And it wasn't. God allowed me to have that, to then take it back away, to be like, hey, I gave you what you thought you wanted, but how about I'm what you should want? I wanted the role of being a youth pastor more than I wanted Christ. And I let that so fixated. And now I would say I do more quality ministry now than I ever did as a vocational pastor. And so, not saying we don't need vocational pastors, But I would say a big caveat is you do not have to be paid by a church to go into ministry. I would say Chris and myself both, and Will, we do ministry.
I think that's also one of the things that Preston Trail had really pushed from the time that like I even started getting involved was the biggest connections, and a lot of our ministry is done in these small groups, in the home groups, like where you're making connections.
So we have guys in our group that don't really know who Rachel or Cody are.
We do.
Brady kind of does.
Well, I guess we actually have a couple of
Brady.
people that actually don't even go to our church.
Yeah,
that
and
still go to our
so
home
like
group.
Yarvis, they could both walk up to Yarvis and he'd be like, "Hi, I'm,"
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Which is super healthy.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be, because what happens is if you're the person that's the pivot point for everything, well, now you're part of someone's faith versus it being in everything around you. But all that to be said, right? Like, you want to go into ministry? Close your eyes. Open your eyes. You're in ministry. Congratulations. Welcome. Like, are you, right? But like, I think we get so like, I like the call, but like, you know, you get to see at camp, it's like, and those that are called to ministry, be like, hold on, you just said who's wants to give their life to Jesus, then you're called to ministry. Like, there's no separation there. If you are a follower of Jesus, you're called to the Great Commission of going to all the nations, baptizing in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, right? That you are on mission. Where you're on mission is different. Are you getting paid by a church, or I get paid by CertaPro, right? Doesn't change that I'm on mission anymore. If anything, I'm in places where like there's people that I can reach that'll never be reached by a church, right? And so like that's just that encouragement, is that like sometimes it's just love God and do the next right step, right? Like don't get so caught up in like, I'm going to get a theology degree. Well, you know what you have to get before a theology degree? The same thing you have to get before a marketing degree. The first 2 years are about the same.
The basics.
Right? And so it's like we can get so caught up in like, how about we make it through a couple of years and see if even college is our thing, right? Like, who knows? You get an offer, you get a job that or something else that without, like, who knows, right? And so it's like, be where you are, have goals, but like just super loose-handed, and just don't get too caught up in like making sure like I know where this is heading, like, because it doesn't matter. Once again, I use Chris all the time. Got an engineering degree, does not use his engineering degree.
Not
and
in
so
the
it's like
slightest.
you can get so tight on something that you'll just like, and then you look back, you're like, well, it wasn't I don't think you would say it's a waste.
No.
Getting the degree and stuff like that. You could definitely look back and be like, I wonder how else I could have spent this time, right? Like there's all this. So just going in open-handed, I think, is a really healthy and wise ways to do that versus getting so focused on the 4 or 5, 10-year end result, right?
And I think a lot of the times with degrees, they're trying to teach you a certain way to think and trying to make you commit to something for a 4-year stretch or however long it takes you to get your degree. What you're actually learning in college, yes, some of it is valuable, but I had so many professionals in the field tell me, yeah, maybe 10% of what you're learning in college is actually going to be applicable to your job that you're going to be doing as a day-to-day engineer.
The only thing I still use, I mean, once again, I only went to college for about a year. The only thing I think I still use is the Old Testament studies.
Okay.
Like, yeah, there's just so much of that, especially in this day and age, there's nothing on a college campus you can't get off of college campus. Like, literally, you can take Harvard classes right now in coding, and they're on YouTube. You can literally take Harvard classes for free. And so, yeah, I think there's just so much of this that, like, you still need to find the thing, and you still need to have the quote-unquote struggle for several years and, like, stick with something, which is still good. But that might be college. That might not be college. That might be, you know, theological school. That might be business. Like, they're both... I mean, Jackson Ford has a degree in finance. Do you think he's a pretty good at ministry?
He's done fantastic, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So like, we can get so in our head about things that, and then God's like, dude, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Why don't you just calm down? Like, do you really believe if you even didn't go to school, if God wanted you changing hearts and lives, you're not changing hearts and lives?
Yeah, he'd get me there.
Right? Once again, not at all saying just forget it. Just like we're not the laissez-faire, right? I'm very firm believer in like God's in charge and God's in control, but like God doesn't reward the lazy.
No.
Like you just sit around, guess what? You're not going to be a minister because you don't have anything to minister.
You actually have to do something.
Right. Faith without works is dead. But don't get so caught up sometimes in the details that you can miss. You know, you don't miss the forest through the trees, as the saying goes. Yeah, and like the last, I think so too, like, you know, in James 4:8, it just talks about just draw near to God. Like in all of this, if the goal is not Christ, then it's wrong. Like it's so easy in this to have the degree as that, the job as that, the this is that, and you're like, no. That's all the byproduct. The goal is Christ.
Yeah. I mean, especially at this phase of life, heading into college, it's about like you're constantly thinking about getting the degree. You're constantly thinking about passing a class year to year. You're constantly thinking about, all right, I'm doing this so that I can get a job. And then once you get the job, you're thinking, okay, I'm getting the job. I want to move up the ladder. And then you start trying to move up the ladder, and then you're like, okay, I want to have a family.
And you're like, how do I take time off?
Yeah, you're constantly always putting something ahead of yourself of, okay, now I want this, but you kind of got to put it in God's hands because
well, it's like first,
all those plans are going to be on his timing, not yours.
You want to graduate school and get a degree so you can get a job. Mm-hmm. And then you want to get a job. And then pretty quickly after you get a job, you want to figure out how to not have to have a job.
Yeah.
Like,
want to figure out.
The minute you get a job, you're like, hey, how do I not do this? Is there a way to not do this job and still like do the life, right? Like, so we get so, and it's like, just like Christ is the reward. And that's super simple and super difficult because we want lesser things sometimes. That's just how it is. Any last things you would say? Like, I mean, how do you plan? Like, obviously you talked about boundaries, right? Setting boundaries with people, and this next season. Like, what is your goal? I mean, a big things were like community and outreach. Like, what is your goal in this next season? So say you aren't living here in McKinney, Texas. What's your plan to maintain community and maintain to being the hands and feet of Jesus to further, the walk?
I mean, my plan, like the plan I have so far is just wherever I do go, I'm going to find a good church to go to. I'm going to find somewhere that I can dwell in God's presence and be there. And then I'm going to get involved in that church and hopefully find good people of genuine faith to be able to talk to and be able to connect with. Even if it's not at a church, it could be somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it could be somewhere else, like around the local area, or it could be somewhere, it could be some of my classmates who happen to be Christian.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And I'll be able to meet them and just, maybe have a group meeting and discuss Christ and be able to watch sermons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm planning on just being able to manage community and boundaries. I kind of already had to do it. People have invited me to parties and stuff like that. It's just like, hey, I am a follower of Christ. I'm not going to put myself in a position to do these things that would not please Christ because I love Christ.
Right.
So I'm going to tell them what my boundaries are beforehand and what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do.
And it's what's really cool when you're confident about yourself and confident in who you are and whose you are. As you set those boundaries, you know what's going to start happening? You're going to stop getting invited to parties. And at first it'll hurt. And then one time you're like, why don't you ever invite me? And they're like, well, you're a Christian. You don't want to do these things. And it's almost this like, okay.
Yeah, I've had people.
Like, I'm happy to not be invited.
I've had people come to me before, especially like I have a lot of gem friends, and like, oh, let me tell you this, and like they're like, oh, never mind, you're a man of God,
right?
I'm like,
and
oh,
so
okay.
It's almost like
it's not a joke. I'm gonna appreciate,
right? But it's one of those things that like it's knowing that you go through this, like first you're saying no, and then you're not getting invited. So there's a part of you that's like, well, I still want to be invited. And then you're like, oh, well, why you're not inviting me is actually like, it's a good reason. It's not, you're not fun. It's like, you don't do these things.
I don't do these things because, I follow Christ for who he is.
Yeah. Any last thoughts?
Nope.
Chris? Yeah, I would just say, like, I mean, anyone that's watching this, right? Like, just like you saw, you can come back. Like, it's really like just dive into your local community and stuff like that. Like, you're never too far gone, right? You don't have to live outside a community. You don't have to live alone. Like, you don't just have to find whoever will put up with you. There's people that are going to love and cherish you. And it's like, you just got to ask yourself, are you living for approval or obedience?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you can't have both. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all we got for today, guys. Like, follow, subscribe, comment, all the things. We're everywhere. Peace out, Girl Scout.
Yep.
Bye, everyone.
My hat's still crooked.
Always and forever.
I'm just crooked, so that's how that works. All right. Faces are seen. We have a banana berry one, which I wasn't sure I was going to feel about it, and it is also quite delightful.
Banana is one of those ones that just mixes so well with so many different
does.
fruits. And not even just fruits, like banana and chocolate. Classic.
Amen, praise Jesus. Banana, chocolate, and peanut butter.
Peanut butter, yeah, there we go.
My favorite
Slap
pancakes.
your mama good.
My favorite thing to like mix into pancake batter and like
Nanners.
Yep.
Niners. You can make pancakes without flour with just bananas. You can use that as your like doughy stuff.
Yeah,
I don't like it as much.
I kind of do it, and I like protein powder too. Also.
Yeah,
Make
protein powder and bananas.
Yeah,
That is fire. You get chocolate peanut butter protein powder.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Protein
That
pancakes
PB12.
right there.
Bro, a little bit of cottage cheese. Call it a morning.
Ooh.
I know you get me excited over here. Don't get me started on cottage cheese.
With your macros.
Bro, it's so good.
Bro, the macros are crazy on
We did not need 400 pounds of beef.
Yeah.
Where's the beef? In my freezer. That's where the beef is. Okay?
Still like